Morning, good afternoon, good evening. Today I'll be solving a question. Um, this question is actually quite simple. These are not like the difficult ones. I think I'll solve like the much more challenging question that would require a little bit more time and thinking. Maybe on the weekends, because during the weekdays I'm quite busy. I work and yeah, I have to do other stuff. So I don't really have a lot of time. As you can see, I'm also there's about around like 40 minutes till the end of the day, and I'm now recording the video. But anyway, let's start solving this question. It's a very simple question. It's given a string of round, curly, and square opening and closing brackets. Return whether the brackets are balanced or well formed. For example, okay, you should return true. And so like they are saying that if the opening parentheses have a closing counterpart for every open one, then they are balanced. But if for some reason a closing parenthesis doesn't have an opening distinct bracket or like vice versa, then they are imbalanced. Okay, so this question is extremely simple. We'll be solving it using a stack set structure. I think this is the example that we learn once you learn about stacks. So let's just solve it. We will first start by getting the length of the string that was passed. And so we will check if this length, if it is 1 or 0, then that means that there's no way it can be balanced, and so we can just return false. Like you can also think of it like this: if it is odd number, then there's no way it can be balanced anyway, so you can throw it out. But anyway, so if this is this one, then there's no way it can be balanced, so you can throw it away. I mean, like you can say that if it's an odd number, there's no way that it is balanced. But anyway, let's just continue like this. We will now then create a stack data structure. And this stack is going to store characters. We'll call it stack. So for the stack data structure, this is how they are. They are known as first in, last out. The first element that you put in will be the last element that will come out. It's like, think of it like how you stack up plates in your kitchen. The first plate that you put on the counter will be the last one that you will take out of the pile. You have to take the top one first before you get to the first plates that that you put on. And so that is exactly how the stack works. And so we will now look through the characters in the string that was given us. So we'll start from the first element. We go up to the last element. Right. And we will say something. We'll say that okay, if the current character that we are on, if it is equal to any of these opening, these are characters, sorry, if they are equal to any of these guys, if it is equal to any of these guys, any of these opening parentheses, I've done this one, so just with a square one. So if it is equal to any of these guys, my battery is about to die, so I need to hurry up before this battery dies on me. If it is equal to any of these things, then we are going to push it into the stack. Else, if it is not any of these, that means that it is like, if it is not any of these opening parentheses, then that means that it is a closing parenthesis. So what we are going to do, we are not going to add to the stack, we are going to remove from the stack. So like we are going to remove the last element that we added to the stack from the stack. But in order to remove, we must first check if the stack is not empty. because if the stack is empty, then that means that this is automatic false. So we will check if the stack dot count is the count is greater than 0. If it is not, then that means that this thing is not balanced, so we can return false. So if the stack count, if the stack is not empty, then we can now say, okay, fine, remove this guy, call it, put it in here, remove the last thing, the pop method. Right. For now, we have now removed the last thing that we added to the stack. We have now removed it, and now we are going to check if it matches the closing tag that we now have currently. So we are going to say if, sorry, I've already typed it. So if the opening tag that we have, if it is equal to this one, then we expect this closing tag to be like the bracket closing tag, right? So like if it is not the same, and if mi, if it is not this guy, then we know that, okay, this one should return false. And we would repeat it for the other sort of curly braces, I suppose. So we will check if this thing that removed is this one, and the current thing that we are checking is not this one, then it is false. And if this thing that we removed was a curly brace, and the current thing that we are checking is not a curly brace, then we are supposed to return false. Okay. So if this one is done, then we are going to check if the stack dot count, if it is equal to 0, then that means that the stack is finished. Then that means that everything has been matched, and so the stack is empty, so we can now return true. But if the stack is not empty at the end of this loop, then that means that there were some brackets that were not matched, and so this thing is unbalanced, and so we return false. And so let us try it on this guy. This guy should return true. .NET run. Return true, and these guys should return false. Let's see. So I think it is best if you see it in action, So you can do a console.write line here for us to see how this thing is working. So if I say I am pushing, I say I'm pushing M1 into the stack, sorry, and here when it comes to me popping it out, so I can do console.write line popped. What did we pop out? We popped T, and now we are merging it with this closing tag. We can close it. So if we now clear and we run it again, we can see we first pushed in this guy, and then we pushed in this guy, and then we popped this one, like the last one that we added. We popped it, and we are comparing it to the current closing tag. Because they are not the same, we return false. So let us go to the one that returned true and see how it was working. see here, we first pushed in this guy, and then when like once we go to the opening this thing, we popped the last one that we put in, and then we checked, are they like a complement of each other? Yes, they are. So we move on. Then we go to another opening distance, so we pop this guy. Are they a complement of each other? So you see, and that is how it works. So in the end, there will be nothing left in the sack, and that is why we return true. So yeah, this was another simple video. I think on the weekend or like on Friday evening, I would record a question like a video of me solving like a much challenging question rather than these simple ones. Anyway, thank you for watching my video. See you tomorrow, I guess.